All right, listeners, get those wrenches ready because today we're going to dive deep into the world of machinery assembly coordinators.
That's right. We're going to be using career guides, interview tips, and even some AI magic from RoleCatcher.
By the end, you'll be all prepped to ace that interview.
Yeah, it's not just about like memorizing answers. It's about really understanding what it takes to excel in this role.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so before we get to the interview questions, let's set the stage a bit.
Yeah.
What does a machinery assembly coordinator actually do?
Right.
And what are some of the different titles that we might come across for this kind of role?
You're right. Context is key. So think of a machinery assembly coordinator like the conductor of an orchestra.
Okay.
But instead of musicians, they're leading a team of assemblers' parts machines to create this like perfect final product.
Got it.
It's about meticulously planning and overseeing that entire manufacturing process from like sourcing the parts to making sure that everything is delivered on time and assembled perfectly.
So not just a gearhead, but also a master of logistics. I noticed the career guide mentions a bunch of different job titles like assembly coordinator, manufacturing coordinator, production coordinator.
Exactly. As you gain experience, you might see titles like machinery planner or even assembly supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting, while the core responsibilities are pretty similar, the complexity and the leadership demands they increase as you kind of climb that career ladder.
Okay. That's really helpful for understanding career trajectory.
Yeah.
But let's focus on getting you through that interview first.
Okay.
We've got a ton of common interview questions, and we're going to break down each one, starting with, could you tell us about your experience with machinery assembly?
Okay, so this might seem pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
but it's your chance to really like capture the interviewer's attention.
Okay.
Don't just list off your past job titles. Instead, you really want to showcase your passion and your expertise.
Okay.
Talk about the specific types of machinery that you've worked on, highlight your role in the assembly process, and emphasize anything you know where you got your hands dirty.
So instead of saying I was an assembly technician,
Right.
you could say I was responsible for assembling and testing hydraulic systems for heavy-duty construction equipment.
Exactly. Paint a vivid picture with your words, and whenever possible, quantify your accomplishments.
Okay.
Did you streamline a process or reduce assembly time? Include those details.
Okay.
Instead of saying, I improved efficiency, say, I implemented a new assembly technique that reduced assembly time by 15%.
Oh, I like that.
Numbers, they make your achievements tangible and memorable.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
And now what if they follow up with something like, what were some challenges you faced during assembly and how did you overcome them?
Yeah.
It feels like they're trying to throw a wrench in the works.
Absolutely. They want to see how you handle pressure and solve problems.
Uh-huh.
So have a specific example ready, ideally one that showcases your technical expertise and your ability to think on your feet.
Gotcha.
Maybe you discovered a faulty component or a critical tool malfunctioned. Walk them through your thought process, how you diagnosed the issue, and the steps you took to resolve it.
So it's all about showing them.
Yes, show them, don't tell them.
Okay. On to question number 2. How do you ensure that machinery is assembled correctly and meets the required specifications? This just screams quality control.
You hit the nail on the head. This question is all about showcasing your meticulous approach to quality assurance.
Yeah.
Detail quality control processes that you've used and give specific examples that demonstrate your understanding of precision and attention to detail.
So I could mention using a caliper to verify component dimensions or conducting pressure tests to ensure hydraulic systems meet specifications.
Exactly. By using those specific tools and techniques, you're painting a clear picture of your commitment to quality.
Right.
Now, they might ask, have you ever discovered a flaw in the assembly process, and how did you address it? They're testing your initiative and your problem-solving skills again.
So it sounds like they're really looking for someone who is proactive and goes beyond just following instructions.
Precisely think of a time when you went above and beyond to identify a potential issue before it became a major problem.
Huh.
Did you spot a discrepancy in the blueprints?
Right.
Or suggest a process improvement that enhanced quality control? Share that story and highlight how your actions prevented costly errors and really demonstrated your commitment to excellence.
This is where those career guides come in handy.
Yeah.
They often provide insights into industry best practices and potential problem areas, specifically in machinery assembly.
Absolutely. The career guide you provided actually mentions the increasing use of digital twins and simulation software in quality control.
Oh, wow.
If you have experience in these areas, definitely weave it into your response.
Wow.
It shows you're not just knowledgeable, but also forward-thinking and adaptable to new technologies.
Let's move on to question 3.
Right.
How do you manage a team of machinery assemblers? This one's all about leadership, right?
Leadership is at the heart of this role. Describe your leadership style, whether you're more of a delegator or a motivator or a collaborative leader. Emphasize your communication skills, your ability to delegate effectively, and how you handle conflicts within a team.
So I can say something like, I believe in clear communication and empowering team members to take ownership.
Yeah.
I regularly hold team meetings to discuss progress, address concerns, and foster a collaborative environment.
That's a strong start. But to make your response truly compelling, weave in specific examples using the STAR method.
Okay.
Situation, task, action, result.
Yeah, the STAR method.
Tell a story where you successfully led a team, resolved a conflict, or motivated your team to achieve a goal.
It's like a secret weapon for those behavioral interview questions.
It is.
It helps structure your response and provide concrete evidence.
Exactly. And remember, don't just tell them what you did, tell them how you did it and what the outcome was.
Okay.
Did your leadership lead to increased productivity or improved morale? Quantify your results whenever possible.
Now, here's a question that's particularly relevant in today's rapidly evolving technological landscape. How do you stay up to date with new machinery assembly techniques and technologies? This one's all about continuous learning, right?
Continuous learning is essential in any field, but especially in manufacturing, where new technologies are constantly emerging.
Yeah.
So mention any training certifications, industry publications, or conferences you attend.
Nice.
And don't forget about online resources.
That's where RoleCatcher skill guides come in handy.
Yes.
They've got tons of resources on manufacturing processes, software, and emerging technologies. It's like having a personalized learning library.
Absolutely. And you can mention specific skills or technologies that you've been exploring through RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
It shows you're proactive and you're using the resources that are available to you.
Right.
Don't forget about online forums, industry blogs, and even following thought leaders on social media. Demonstrate that you're actively seeking knowledge and staying ahead of the curve.
So we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
But I'm itching to dive into some of those more complex, scenario-based questions.
Yeah.
These are the ones that really test your ability to think critically and apply your knowledge.
And those are the ones that can really set you apart from the competition. So let's buckle up and tackle some of those challenging questions head on.
Okay.
Remember, the more you practice, the more confident and prepared you'll feel on interview day.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. Welcome back to our deep dive into acing that machinery assembly coordinator interview. Ready for some more challenging questions?
Oh, yeah, bring them on. Ready to put my problem-solving skills to the test.
All right, let's imagine you're faced with this. Can you tell us about a time when you had to troubleshoot a complex machinery assembly issue? It's a classic,
Okay.
designed to really assess your analytical and technical abilities.
So they're not just looking for, like, textbook knowledge. They want to know how I actually apply it.
Precisely. Remember the STAR method.
Yeah.
This is where it really shines. Describe a specific troubleshooting situation, walk them through your step-by-step process, and highlight that positive outcome.
Okay.
Don't just say, I'm good at troubleshooting. Just show them, don't tell them.
So instead of just saying, I'm good at troubleshooting, I can describe a time when I noticed like a pressure drop in a hydraulic system. And I systematically checked each component, identified a faulty valve, and replaced it, restoring the system to full functionality.
Perfect. You've painted a clear picture of your technical abilities and your problem-solving process, and you've shown that you can communicate it effectively.
Okay.
Now, the career guide actually mentions the importance of root cause analysis.
Oh,
Did you go beyond just fixing that immediate problem and investigate why the valve failed in the first place? Sharing this demonstrates a deeper level of problem solving.
so it's about preventing future issues, not just fixing the current one. That's a great insight from the career guide.
Exactly.
And how about this one? How do you prioritize and manage your workload as a machinery assembly coordinator? This one seems like organization is key.
Absolutely. They're looking for someone who can juggle multiple tasks, meet those deadlines, and stay calm under pressure. So describe your time management techniques, prioritization methods, and any tools that you use to stay organized.
Okay.
Are you a to-do list master? Or maybe a project management software whiz?
Speaking of tools, could I mention RoleCatcher's job search planner here?
Yeah.
It's been a lifesaver for organizing my applications and interview prep.
That's a great idea. It shows you're proactive and you're utilizing available resources. Now imagine they hit you with a follow-up question like, Tell me about a time when you had to juggle multiple priorities. How did you manage?
Okay.
Be ready with that specific example, highlighting how you assessed urgency delegated tasks effectively and kept everything on track even when things got a little bit hectic.
So it's like they're looking for a master juggler, keeping all those assembly tasks in the air.
Exactly.
Okay, this next question feels a bit tricky. Can you tell us about a time when you had to resolve a conflict with a team member or a stakeholder?
Ah, yes, the conflict resolution question. It's not about avoiding conflict altogether, but demonstrating your ability to handle those challenging situations professionally and diplomatically.
So it's less about winning an argument and more about finding a solution that works for everyone.
Exactly. Focus on active listening, empathy, and finding common ground.
Okay.
Did you facilitate a discussion to understand each perspective or maybe compromise to reach a mutually beneficial outcome? These are the skills they really want to see.
Could I use an example where there was a disagreement about, like, the best assembly method?
Huh?
And I could explain how I facilitated a discussion, we brainstormed solutions, and ultimately combined the best elements of both approaches.
That's an excellent example. It really highlights your collaborative approach to problem solving and your ability to navigate different opinions. Remember, a good leader doesn't just dictate, they listen and they guide the team towards that shared solution.
Right. Safety is super important in any manufacturing environment.
Of course.
So I'm expecting a question about that. What should I know?
You're right, safety is non-negotiable. They might ask something like, how do you ensure that safety protocols are followed during machinery assembly?
Okay.
And this is about demonstrating that you're not just aware of the rules, but you champion them and create a culture of safety.
So instead of just saying, I follow all the safety rules,
Gotcha.
I should highlight specific actions like conducting regular safety inspections, ensuring everyone's wearing their PPE, and addressing any potential hazards immediately.
Exactly. Be proactive and be specific. Now imagine this follow-up. Have you ever had to stop work because of a safety concern? What happened? They want to know that you prioritize safety above all else.
I would describe a time when I noticed a potential hazard,
Yeah.
clearly communicated the risk to the team, and took immediate action to fix the situation, even if it meant a temporary delay.
Absolutely. It shows leadership responsibility and a genuine concern for the well-being of your team. And remember, the career guide highlights specific safety certifications like OSHA training or industry-specific safety protocols. Mentioning these adds credibility to your commitment to safety.
These follow-up questions are really getting me thinking on my feet.
That's the point.
I'm starting to see how the interviewers are looking for more than just textbook answers. They want to know how I've applied my knowledge and skills in those real-world situations.
And that's exactly what sets a strong candidate apart from the rest. By using the STAR method, referencing industry best practices from your career guide, and showcasing your adaptability, you'll demonstrate that you're not just prepared for the interview, but you're prepared for the job itself.
Okay, we're back for the final stretch of our deep dive, and I'm feeling pretty confident about tackling those last few interview questions.
Great. Let's keep that momentum going.
We've covered a lot, but there's one more that I think is really important. How do you handle unexpected delays or changes in the machinery assembly process?
This question, it's all about adaptability and problem solving, thinking on your feet.
Right, because manufacturing, it's rarely predictable.
Yeah.
So they want to see how I can handle those curveballs and keep things moving.
Think of a time when maybe a critical shipment was delayed or a machine malfunctioned or there was a sudden change in the specifications.
Oh, yeah.
How did you adapt? Did you reorganize the assembly schedule? Did you have to find alternative components? Showcase your ability to think on your feet and find those solutions to minimize any downtime.
Okay, so I could talk about a time when a key component was delayed,
Right.
and I quickly found a suitable alternative, communicated the change to the team, and adjusted the assembly sequence to accommodate that new part.
Perfect. You've demonstrated flexibility, problem solving, and clear communication, all essential qualities for a machinery assembly coordinator.
Yeah.
And here's where you can tie in the career guide's emphasis on lean manufacturing principles.
Okay.
Did you use those principles to identify and eliminate any unnecessary steps in the process to optimize efficiency even further?
That's a great point. Mentioning lean manufacturing shows that I'm aware of those industry best practices and committed to that continuous improvement mindset. Now, before we wrap up this interview prep marathon, I'm curious about something. The career guide mentions automation and how it's playing a bigger role in manufacturing.
Yes.
How should I address this in the interview, especially considering it might, change this role in the future?
That's a really smart question, and it shows that you're forward thinking. Automation is transforming the industry, but it's not about replacing humans.
Okay.
It's about augmenting our capabilities.
So it's less about competing with robots and more about working with them.
Exactly. In the future, machinery assembly coordinators will likely oversee a hybrid workforce of humans and machines.
Oh,
So
boy.
emphasize your willingness to learn new technologies, adapt to changing environments, and manage those complex systems.
Right.
If you have any experience with robotics programming or AI, highlight those skills.
So if they ask me, how do you see the role of a machinery assembly coordinator changing in the next 5 years? I should acknowledge the rise of automation, but also emphasize that we'll still need human expertise to manage, troubleshoot, and optimize these systems.
Precisely. You can even mention specific technologies from the career guide, like collaborative robots or AI-powered quality control systems.
Oh.
This shows you're aware of industry trends and eager to embrace the future of manufacturing.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. We've tackled tough interview questions, gotten some great career insights, and even looked into the future of manufacturing.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher.
Right?
Their AI tools can help you tailor your responses to specific job descriptions, get feedback on your delivery, and even practice with mock interviews. It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket.
It's amazing how technology can really personalize the job search and give candidates an edge. Before we sign off, any last words of wisdom for our listeners as they get ready for their interviews?
Remember, preparation breeds confidence. Use what we've talked about today. The insights from this deep dive, reference your career guides, and practice those star stories. Showcase your passion, your expertise, and your willingness to learn and adapt.
And don't forget to use RoleCatcher's AI to really fine-tune those responses and stand out from the crowd. Good luck out there, future machinery assembly coordinators. The world needs your skills, your dedication, and your passion for building the machines that power our lives.